in my 34 years in this business, the one thing that I've learned is there is nothing for free.
Bienvenidos a este nuevo episodio de Atlanta Dulce Hogar. Esto es un podcast dedicado a real estate, a bienes raíces, venta, compra o inversión. Hoy tengo a Greg, él es un loan officer y quiero hablar con él sobre mortgages. Pero ahora I'm going to switch to English because Greg doesn't speak Spanish. So,
No, wait a minute. I do speak Spanish.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yes.
Okay.
Uno, cerveza. Gracias.
There you go. Yeah, that's very, very handy in Cancun, right?
That's right. I'm sorry, but I don't.
No, it's all great. So what I was just doing is introducing the podcast. You know, this is a podcast about, it's called Atlanta Sweet Home, or in Spanish, Atlanta Dulce Hogar. It's about real estate, selling, buying, and investing.
Okay.
So it's an honor to have you, Greg. Really,
Thank you.
really an honor. I've heard so many good things about you. I've seen so many good things about you and doing your job. And you always want to help people. That's why I wanted to have you here. I mainly do it in Spanish, but I've been switching because, you know, we're in America, right?
That's right. Well, you tell me. I mean, I can say some things. You can interpret it. Make sure that our audience gets what they need.
Exactly. That's the idea. But I'd like to start like this friendly conversation with like, what are 3 things that you must have in your house?
When you say, you mean with
3
respect?
Things. Yeah. Like when you're buying a home.
What are the 3 things that prepare you?
That you want to have in your house.
That I want to have in my house?
Yeah. Like the kitchen is important. The bathroom is important. What are 3 things?
Well, number 1, I want a good value.
Good value. Okay.
Good value. I want a good value because I can probably make some changes if I need to.
Okay.
For me, number 2, absolutely unconditionally, because I'm older than you.
Okay.
I want the master on the main.
Okay.
For me, that is
so it doesn't matter if it's a ranch or if...
It makes no difference.
As long as
the master on the main. That is an absolute must.
Okay.
And the third thing is I've got to have some space. I cannot be in a townhome. A quarter-acre lot's not going to be big enough. I need some space.
You need around.
My wife and I have animals. We love animals. Yeah. So we've got to have a little bit of space.
Oh, that's nice. All right, 3 things. 3 things about that. So you've been in the industry for what?
Well, January will be 34 years.
What? 34?
34 years in lending, yes.
Wow. So you have seen interest rate go up, down.
Oh my gosh. I've seen some unbelievable things with interest rates, with markets. So I feel very fortunate to have gone through all of that because it does help make one a little bit more resilient when we're going through some of the things we're going through today. But yes, long time.
It's like you've been there, so been there, done that, right?
Right.
Like they say. So well, that's something that. What is a good anecdote or a good story or a bad in your job? Like, is that something that you that happened, or like maybe you became friends with somebody that you were selling? Or I don't know, maybe your wife was your ex-client. Yeah, I don't know.
No, I'm going to go through both, okay?
Yeah, please.
The positive and the maybe not so positive.
Okay.
But first, probably the most positive thing that happens for me, everybody that becomes a client of mine that I close a loan for rolls into what I call my client for life family.
There you go.
And I communicate with them every single month in one manner or another, whether it's an email, phone, text, whatever it happens to be. They always get something from me on their birthdays. It's very important to me that those people that they feel that this is not just a single transaction. Now, as a result of that, I have been blessed beyond all measure because I get to do business with people over and over and over and over again.
That's the idea.
This past month, we closed the loan for someone in Missouri. Okay. I did her loan twice here in Georgia. She's moving to Missouri, and I'm doing the loan. We have a loan closing the beginning of November.
Okay.
I did his loan when he moved here, and now he called me. He's living in Chicago, buying a condo,
And he
we
wants
helped
you
him
to-
secure that deal. So he's closing next month.
How many states do you cover?
I'm in 38 states.
Oh, that's pretty much
So that's the positive. I mean, that's just the biggest blessing you can imagine.
nice.
Now, what's the biggest non-positive? The biggest hurt. The biggest
Okay.
hurt is when I get calls from a real estate agent or from a buyer
Okay.
who has just gone through a complete disaster.
Oh, yeah.
Not my loan.
Like the
but
rescues.
The rescue. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what we call them. We call them rescues, where they've been through a very bad experience because, and generally it's because the loan officer has not done their job up front.
Experience.
And, that hurts because some of the people have lost earnest money.
Yeah.
That's horrible. That should never happen.
You said something about like not doing their job, meaning like pre-approval and pre-qualifying. Is
Well-
that something that not doing your job, like, okay, see you over, and then just say that? Something?
Well, I'm going to give you that's a great way to put it.
Okay.
Typically, pre-qualification means that you verbally or online give information to a lender,
Okay.
and they tell you how much they run your credit, tell them what you're qualified for.
Okay.
That's pre-qualification. Pre-approval should say that I'm going to look at all of your documents, all your supporting documents, your
Income.
pay stubs, your bank statement. I'm going to look at if tax returns are appropriate. I'm going to look at everything. I'm going to analyze it, and then I'm going to give you a pre-approval.
Okay.
But
All right.
that's only the start. Because the best loan officers, and there are many,
Yeah.
and I know a lot of them. Unfortunately, most
And
of
I'm
the industry,
speaking with one of them.
Well, most of the industry doesn't take the next step. When I get all the documents from someone, Miguel, one of the things I want to do, I'm going to go over the credit report with the client in detail. We are not allowed as lenders to send them a copy.
Yeah.
But I can go over it with them in detail. I'm going to take, and we're going to go from the top all the way down to the bottom. We're going to do a couple things. Let them know what their scores are and what is the things driving their score. And we're going to go line item by line item by line item, make absolutely sure. And a good loan officer, that's what they're going to do. Why? It takes more time, but why are they doing it? Because you as the customer deserve that.
Yes.
Now, then I'm going to look at everything and I'm going to say, let's look at your options. Because it may not just be FHA. Maybe you've got a score that's
conventional.
700 to 715. Maybe FHA is better than conventional, but maybe conventional is better.
Okay.
What about somebody who's got a 760 credit score and wants to put 20% down? And I talk to them about, hey, let's just do 10 or 15% down. You get a little bit better rate than 20. I know that sounds weird, but it is.
Yeah.
And let's do a single premium so that you don't have monthly PMI. That's what good loan officers do for their clients. So the negative is,
Yes.
I get the lender rescue calls all the time.
Like
because-
you saying that because the good loan officer, it'll give you the options, and then maybe what you think is better, maybe not.
Maybe
right?
not. That's right. So let's take a look at what a person can do. So the positive is I get to do business with my clients over and over and over and over again.
Yes.
The negative is that I'm getting calls from buyers and from agents who are saying that the lender they were using was not getting the job done.
Yes. It's happened before, not many times, thank God.
Yeah, thank goodness.
I haven't been able to give you more than I want to because most of my clients are Hispanic and they feel comfortable.
I completely understand that. If I could speak Spanish, oh my gosh, I wish I could.
There's so much business in there.
I know.
Yeah. Now, I get this question a lot. How much do I need to put in my taxes to qualify for this much? Or how much do I need to make monthly to qualify for, let's say, $500,000 or let's say 400,000? That is about the range that I help people buy. What do I tell them?
Well, first thing is, what people ask me that. Well, Greg, how much do I have to make so I can buy a $400,000 home?
Yeah.
There is no canned answer for that because it depends on numerous things.
Yeah.
Number one, it depends on your credit scores.
Okay.
If you have credit scores at 660 versus having credit scores at 780, the debt to income variance is going to vary based on the fact that you've got one higher credit score than the other. The other thing is, it's hard for me to tell you for sure because maybe it's FHA, which is more lenient on debt to income ratios than conventional. So we have to look at all of it. But as a ballpark number, let me give you this number. Ballpark number.
Okay.
If you take your gross monthly income,
Okay.
gross monthly income, multiply that times 40%.
Okay. Times 4.
That is probably close to the maximum monthly payment you can get for a home.
How do I know what's my gross monthly income? Like whatever I get from my employer?
Before they take out taxes and everything else.
Oh, okay. So, in
it's
my
not
pay
net.
stub, says this much, and then it says minus.
Right.
Whatever,
Don't take the
whatever.
minus. Look at the gross.
Look at the gross.
Look at the gross. So the gross times 40% is the maximum monthly payment.
So that's times 0.4. Times 0.4. Okay.
So approximately.
Yeah.
So it can be different. I mean, I've got some people that can go as high as 45, 46%.
Because
I've
it's
got
not
others
perfect.
that can't go. That's right.
It's not 2 plus 2.
No, it's not.
2 plus minus. Then
So that leads me to say, that might be a guideline, but I wouldn't go out and buy a house based on that. And I certainly wouldn't go out and look at houses. Why do you want to get excited about a house that you later find out you can't buy? I mean, if I found this beautiful home on an acre that had the master on the main and had everything I was looking for, like you asked me,
yeah.
and then I find out I can't afford it,
Then you're gonna be sad, frustrated, and then you don't want to buy. You want to rent. It's even worse.
So when it
But most people say, no, but let me know. I'll make it. I'll make that much money. I'll figure it out. But I don't want you to run my credit because you're gonna ruin it.
Why don't you want me to run your credit?
Because you're gonna ruin it.
How am I going to ruin it?
Because they're going to, if I have 660, then now it's gonna go down because you ran my credit. You did an inquiry on me.
Okay. What most people don't realize is that when a mortgage company runs a hard inquiry, you're not taking out new credit. All it is an inquiry. It affects your score by about 2 to 5 points.
2 to 5.
That's it. No more than
So that 20 points drop is because you went to a car dealership and they ran in and
Oh,
ran
no,
and ran.
that's a totally different story. Exactly. Well, and here's the thing. You can apply for a credit card. That's an inquiry. It's going to drop your score a couple points.
Okay.
If you
Like
take,
when I go to, Gap or Nike and they say, hey, you want this credit card? Yeah.
No, the inquiry is only going to affect you by a couple points. But as soon as you sign the agreement that you're taking out new credit, bam, 40 to 50 points.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So that's why I tell everybody, don't worry about working with a mortgage company who's going to run your credit. It's okay.
This is so people don't like it so much that now mortgage companies are doing, okay, we can do a soft inquiry, right? They're doing
That's
that.
true. That's true.
Right.
Do you know what the dilemma is with doing the soft
Pre-approval and pre-qualification.
Gosh, you're good. A mortgage company, in order to give a pre-approval, we have to use the middle of 3 scores.
3 score, okay.
So if I do a soft pull, I'm only getting 1, maybe 2 scores. And the soft pull does not reflect everything that a hard pull does.
Yeah.
So therefore, in order for me to give an honest pre-approval, I have to look at all 3 scores.
Yeah.
And once I look at all 3 scores, now I can then take the next steps to issue a true pre-approval or true guidance to help somebody get their scores up.
Because the credit score, what tells the bank or the person that is willing to take the risk of lending you money, what it's saying is, hey, this person behave or doesn't behave when they get money from other people, right? Is that what it's saying?
That's very true. The lending industry says we have to assess risk. And part of assessing risk is, what's your payment history like? What's your credit history like? Well, how much credit do you take out? How high?
History meaning like since
whenever.
the first time I took a credit.
Right.
Okay. Because now this is why I'm asking this, because much of my clients are immigrants.
Okay.
Sometimes are not even Latinos or Hispanics, but they are just getting here. They're just starting to build there. And of course, if you get into to another country and you want to work in this country, you need, no matter what, you need a car.
Correct.
So that's the first thing they take out. But the car industry runs the credit until they approve you somewhere with somebody.
That's
like
right.
they don't care. And then
That's
you can have like 10 or 15. But if I go to you, you're gonna do it one time. You're not gonna do it like, oh, let's see if this other bank. This other bank.
One inquiry.
And then so that's why I ask these questions, because they feel like no, you're gonna ruin it because they did it and it's the same.
We're not gonna.
It's not the
mortgage
same, right?
companies will not hurt you that way.
Because they just want to know how you behave.
That's right.
I always explain, and I don't know if it's the great, but I always say this. It's like if you're flirting with somebody, right? And that person said, let me see your relationship credit, right?
I like that.
And then they say, okay, oh, this person cheated on his first girlfriend. Then he wasn't that good with the second one. Then like it says the whole history. It's probably this guy's probably gonna cheat on me too. So that's what the credit history is saying to the bank. But just like, oh, this person is going to be late on payments, because he has been late on payments with other people.
That's right.
Right?
So we're going to look at that. That's kind of thing we're going to, and there's ways of cleaning that up. And we're going to hopefully help people. How do we help you clean that up so that it doesn't remain a problem?
Like the credit, like make the credit better, like bring it up. Okay. I don't know. Like, do you have few tips? Or?
Well, there are. I think one of the first tips, you mentioned people coming into the country for the first time, they got to get a car. Yeah. But one of the very first things that I would do is I would get 2 secured credit cards.
Two of them. Those are the ones that you give the money to the bank and they give you a credit card.
So most of the time that might be $200 per card. Mm-hmm. That's step number 1. Mm-hmm. Step number 2 is you have to use that card every single month.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now, step number 3, and this is the critical one.
Okay.
You never use that card so that the balance at any time exceeds 30% of the high credit limit. Okay. So if I have a card for $200, my high credit limit is $200. That means that card can never be used so the balance exceeds $60.
Okay.
So I'm going to use it every month. I'll buy a half a tank of gas so that I only spend $30 or whatever it is. Half a tank. It used to be you could get a whole tank for that, but a half a tank.
Where I'm from, it used to be the whole stadium.
Oh, exactly. But in any event, I'm going to use the card. Maybe it's just to go to Starbucks and get a cup of coffee, or maybe it's going to get a lunch at QT, whatever it happens to be. I'm going to go and do that, and I'm going to pay it off. Then I'm going to reuse it again.
Before the minimum payment date?
Yeah, well, when you get the statement, pay it. Then use the card again. When it comes out, statement comes out, pay it. Then use the card again. You do that in 6 months, you're going to have a good credit score.
6 months. Are there other ways? I've heard about this extra credit card that makes your checkings accounts into a reportable bureau.
There are a lot of things that you can now do to, like, you can do self-reporting your credit, your cell phone, your electric bill, all of that. That maybe it helps a little bit.
Okay.
But those are not considered credit as much as they are. You have to pay them.
Okay.
So a revolving account, a credit card, you don't have to pay that. Because if you don't pay it, you're not going to lose your house. You're not going to turn off your electricity. What are they going to do? You're just going to have to go into collection.
Okay.
So the most important thing that I can tell people to do, get yourself a couple of secured credit cards. And if you're going to buy a car, that's fine. But bear in mind, when you first buy the car, your credit score is going to drop significantly. Yeah. And it's going to take, depending on where your credit was at before then, it's going to take anywhere from 3 to 9 months to pick back up again.
Okay.
But those are the best ways, in my opinion, to secure good credit
to get
scores.
good credit.
Right.
Because that is something that benefits the borrower.
Right. Oh, yes. Okay. Absolutely.
Okay, talking about other mortgages, and we are right now in October 2023, and interest rates are so high, right? compared to the last few years,
right.
But compared with the 70s or the 80s, right. They're okay. Yeah. Well, now everybody is talking about assumable loans. Okay. What can you tell me about assumable loans?
Well, assumable loans have been around for a very long time, Miguel. Yeah. They've been ever since I've been in the business. They've been here. Okay. Now, they changed a little bit in the late 80s. From FHA used to have them non-qualifying. That doesn't exist anymore. So if somebody wants to assume a loan, they still have to qualify for it.
Yes.
Income, debt-to-income ratios, everything has to fall in line. So you have to qualify for it. That's number one.
But you're assuming somebody else's.
You're assuming somebody else's. So let's say that somebody bought a home in 2014.
Okay.
And they paid $200,000 for it.
Okay.
Now, in 2020,
almost 9 years.
Right. In 2020, they refinanced.
Okay.
They got another FHA loan. They did an FHA at the beginning. They got another FHA loan in 2020, and the interest rate dropped down to 3.0.
Okay.
Well, my gosh, if I could assume a 3.0 loan, I'm happy.
Yeah.
The challenge is that home in 2014 was $200,000. It might be $400,000 now.
Right now, yeah.
So when you assume the loan, you're assuming the current seller's mortgage amount.
Yeah, you're assuming the loan.
The loan, which might only be $100,000. Let's just say it's $180,000. Okay. So you're buying it for $4.
For $4. Like
where are you going to get that $220,000 from? The biggest challenge that people have with assumable loans,
owner financing.
You can't do owner financing.
No,
not allowed. Cannot do owner financing on an assumable loan. You got to come up with the cash or get a gift from a blood relative. Oh. So if you have a blood relative who can give you the gift for $220,000 in this example, you're golden. Oh. Seller cannot do financing.
So there are some guidelines that you like.
It's just like getting an FHA loan. It's no different.
No different.
It's just
and when it's VA, you have to be a veteran, and also
no, you don't have. If a veteran has a VA loan and they're willing to allow you to assume it, as long as you qualify, you can assume that loan. Now the veteran puts themselves in kind of an awkward situation.
Yeah, that's why I bring it up.
It's not as typical for people to assume VA loans as it is to assume FHA loans.
I've been seeing houses in the market being listed, and they put right on top, this is a VA loan. This is a assumable VA loan. Like they want to, and it's 2.3 right now.
There you go.
But
why not?
I was talking to that agent, and I was like, so how are you going to do with the equity?
Yeah.
Because they're going to assume what you own.
That's it.
Not what the house is worth.
That's right. And now all of a sudden the buyer, the new buyer, your new buyer has to come up with that equity. Most of them don't have it.
So there's no way around but giving the money cash up front.
You got to have.
And the bank has to be happy with you getting rid of all this money, right? Like meaning I don't know, maybe your debt to income now is too much. Maybe.
Well, it's not going to be because you're going to...
Yeah, I'm just giving an example of
but
something.
you're not borrowing the money. You're getting a gift.
But they don't want you to refinance, to owner finance.
Well, you can't do the owner finance.
Because the bank doesn't allow
That's
me.
right. That's
it's
correct.
like, no, then you don't qualify.
Then you don't qualify.
There's no other way around.
And that's why... all this advertising on assumable loans right now is kind of like a little bit of a marketing gimmick.
Yeah.
Because it's not for everybody.
But remember, whatever people hear and they love it, and it's like, let's do that. And then they start telling you, me, like, oh, no, but you haven't heard about that.
I want to do this. Yeah. Well, it's kind of like the phrase that so many times you and I hear in our business, well, I'm a first-time home buyer. I want to get first-time home buyer benefits. Yes. Most people don't even realize what a first-time home buyer is.
Yeah. Somebody that hasn't owned a home for 3 years.
That's it. So you could own 5 homes in the past, but now you haven't owned one in the last 3 years. You are considered a first-time home buyer.
Yeah, but what they mean is really, can we get the help? But you can get the help. There are down payment programs.
Yep.
Now, the mortgage company has to allow it.
That's right.
Because there might be something in there. I don't really know what are the specifics that might be in there that they don't like, which is like maybe a higher interest, maybe something that get you off your DTI, right? Because that's the most important, right?
In my 34 years in this business, the one thing that I've learned is there is nothing for free.
I've said it many times, but I'm an immigrant. When I got to this country, one of the things that I saw was freedom is not free.
That's it.
And that's part of the, amen. And that's part of the Korean War Memorial.
Yes,
it
is.
In DC. And I saw it, and it's like I almost wanted to tattoo it on myself because it's like freedom is not free.
That's right. And nothing in the mortgage industry is free. If you get a bond program, if you get a zero down payment loan, you are going to pay a higher interest rate and you're going to pay higher costs to get it. Yeah. So you got to read the small print.
But people love things that are given to them. I would take it too. Yeah. But of course, it's something that...
Is it in your best interest?
That's what you will be looking out for.
That's
explaining this or that, or
that's why a good loan
route, if we take this other route.
That's why a good loan officer is so important. Because all of these things can be different.
So people that wants to work in Spanish only, I'll translate. Let's work with him.
I have done that.
Yeah.
I have done some loans where the real estate agent is my translator. Yeah. I've done 2 in French, 1 in Portuguese,
and
a bunch in Spanish. I might be able to. It takes longer. It's a lot more work on you, and it requires, for those of you that are watching, and your primary language is Spanish, please first of all forgive me for not honoring your language because I should, but secondly, it takes more patience on your part because I can only speak this crazy English language. So he would have to interpret all of it. But if you're patient, I promise I will be patient.
Maybe by the 10th client, I'll become
either that or maybe I'll learn Spanish.
Exactly, one of those. But please do something. I don't want to finish the episode. I want more from you, man. You know so much. I really don't. We'll talk about assumable loans, getting a better credit. We'll talk about what you need what you must have in your house.
Can I add something? Though?
Yes, please.
I think something that I'd like to add because right now people are nervous about the fact that interest rates are so high. And so they're saying, well, maybe I should wait. Well, there's enough proof that home prices are still on the rise. So when you think about it, if you get a $400,000 home and it goes up just 5%, which is what they're going up right now. Now, bear in mind, they're still going up. They're not going down. But let's just say it's 5%. Mm-hmm. If it goes up 5%, that means next year that $400,000 home is going to cost $420,000. Mm-hmm. So there's $20,000 of equity that somebody is going to get. If you buy the house, it's you. Or if you don't buy the house, the seller still has it or whoever did buy it. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. Waiting for the interest rate to go from, let's just say it's 7 3/4 down to 5 3/4 mm-hmm. on a $400,000 FHA loan, or somewhere in that ballpark. Okay. Your monthly payment on that 2% is only going to be roughly $300 to $400 a month. Let's just say it's $400. Mm-hmm. That's $4,800 that it's going to cost you.
Not
to more because you're paying 7 3/4 rather than 5 3/4. Yeah. So but think about it. So you pay $4,800 more, but you gain $20,000. Yeah. So what I always tell people is I say, just let me ask you a simple question. If I asked you to give me $4,800 and I said next year I'm going to give you $20,000 back, what would you do?
Yeah.
That's the decision. That's what people don't realize. It's the value of money because real estate continues to go up.
And also, it's sort of like saying, do you want to pay it monthly? Or do you want to pay it right in the closing table when the interest rate is down because the seller now wants more money for his house? Because now he has not 2 or 3 that offers, but now he has 20.
Right.
I saw 90 offers during the
during the
3%.
craziness, yes.
I saw 90 offers on one house.
Yeah, I know.
So.
Well, in the month of August, Steve, who works with you, Steve, we were doing a VA loan for him, and we ended up winning the contract for his buyer. There were 31 offers. 31 offers. That's in August of this year.
Oh, wow.
So that we're not talking about 2021. We're talking about just a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't hurt to take action today. I never encourage anybody to buy a house you're not interested in. Don't push yourself. But if you find something,
it's not a pair of shoes that you can change.
That's right.
Or get the money back or whatever. But you reminded me of something. The difference between depreciation and deceleration.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
This is right now. This is because it has to do with the 20,000.
That's right.
In the so
here's the example. Okay. So let's say that you're driving a car and you're going at 60 miles an hour and you're driving on the flats in Nevada. So you've got everything is going at 60 miles. You're going at 60 miles an hour.
Yes.
Now all of a sudden you're going to take a hill.
Yeah.
All right. You're going to take a hill. When you start going up that hill, if you do not press further on the gas, what's going to happen? Your speed is going to slow down. You're not going to go backwards unless you put the car in reverse.
Yeah.
But instead of going 60, you might be going 55 or 50, which simply means that you are decelerating. That's what's going on in our market right now.
With the prices of
homes. Homes are still going up in value. They're not going up at the pace they did in 2020, 2021, and the first part of 2022. Yeah. So we are decelerating.
The price, but price is not going down.
But the price is not going down. The only way that you're going on that hill, if you're going in reverse, the only way is if you put the car in reverse and you start going backwards. We are not going backwards.
No.
We've just slowed the appreciation. And quite frankly, I hope we stay at about a 3 to 7% gain on our homes. That's a perfect market for us for the long term. These 20% gains, that's craziness. Now, granted, I own a couple homes, so I feel blessed that I was able to do that. But you know, it doesn't serve the community.
And then you have to pay more taxes.
Then you got to pay more taxes. Exactly.
That happened to me in my home. I bought in 2018.
Okay.
182. Right now, Sugar Hill, my home, is more than 300.
Oh, yes, especially Sugar Hill.
Yeah,
right.
It's more than 320, I would say. Wow. I learned so much, man. I'm really glad. This is my lender in-house for Century 21 and First
Community Mortgage.
Every information is going to be here. And thank you so much for being here. I really enjoyed a lot. Enjoyed conversating with you, having a talk with you.
Thank you, everybody, for your patience with my English.
No, but I'm gonna try to put subtitles in Spanish, and if not, just let me know. Well, this is the end of the episode. So, muchas gracias por haber estado ahí. Esto fue Atlanta Dulce Hogar, hoy con Greg Janicki. Y ya saben, este podcast sobre inversión, comprar o vender en real estate. Muchas gracias.
Thank you.